there's a lot of guys, I would say, that are kind of subscribing to a philosophy of hating women, being very, very scared of marriage and long-term relationships, right? I mean, some of these things obviously, like are justified, but I think it's a shame. And then there's a lot of guys that are like just so hung up on women and this whole thing. What's your kind of take on all of this, and in terms of being a man, and obviously you've got a family, you're married, you have kids. What do you think about kind of what's being taught to young men today?
I think in this particular space, there's a lot of victimhood mentality
Mm-hmm.
where men are the victims and everybody and everything is out to get us and all women are bitches and society is horrible. And that typically comes from individuals who have been hurt and wounded in the past and haven't figured out how to deal with it like a mature individual. And so instead of dealing with it, what they'll do is they'll broadly apply isolated incidents to entire people or groups of people, like all women are bitches, right? That's things you hear, like all women are gold diggers, all women are out to get you. Like I haven't experienced that. My mother, as I was growing up and she was raising me, didn't seem to exhibit any of that behavior. My wife certainly hasn't exhibited any of that behavior, and there's other women in my life that I really admire and respect who don't behave and act like that. Now, I'm not saying that you should be reckless. In fact, when it comes to marriage, that's a very important thing. And I often talk with a lot of men about, hey, slow it down. Look for red flags. Don't be thinking with your dick. Like, think about how this is actually going to impact the rest of your life. Don't rush into this. Be smart. If red flags pop up, talk about them, address them. If they don't go away, maybe you do need to step back.
Right.
But if you've done your due diligence, I think partnering with a woman is a very, very powerful thing. It's radically transformed my life. And a lot of guys will say, well, Ryan, I don't need a piece of paper. That's what they'll say. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that I'm committed. No, you don't. But I do think there is power in having a ceremony that actually signifies what it is you've committed to, right? We're not going to do away with those traditions because that's what makes it real. That's what makes it tangible. That's what makes it important. And if you if you do away with those things, then I think you're probably more likely to take it less serious. I take my marriage very seriously because I made a commitment to her. And so I think that that's been a very powerful thing. If you have some different thoughts, I can certainly understand that, but let's not be perpetual victims.
Right.
And let's not just assume that because we had a bad experience. Women do this too. A woman who might be physically or emotionally or even sexually abused may attribute that behavior to all men.
Right.
I understand that. That would be a scary thing to deal with. And as a defense mechanism, I could see why a human being would attribute that or assign that to an entire group of people.
Right.
But it just isn't reality. And it hinders your ability to grow and progress and create opportunities for yourself. So it is pretty saddening to see a lot of guys being talked out of partnering with women, committing to them. It's just been a powerful part of my life, and I can't see how not doing that would be better than what it is today for us.